Hello, thank you for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguela. The Vatican News Service says Pope Francis died at his residence in the Vatican's Casa Santa Marta. His death comes a day after he appeared in St. Peter's Square to wish Happy Easter to thousands of worshippers. Cardinal Farrell says his entire life was dedicated to the service of the Lord and his church.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buona Pasqua.
Dear brothers and sisters, Happy Easter.
Our world leaders have been paying tribute, with French President Emmanuel Macron describing him as a man of humility. And Dutch Prime Minister Dick Schoof says he was a role model for Catholics and non-Catholics alike. The world is mourning the demise of Pope Francis, the 266th pontiff of the Roman Catholic Church, whose passing marks the end of an era defined by radical humility within one of Christianity's oldest institutions. His unwavering compassion and persistent call for humanity to see itself as one family is yet another hallmark of his papal legacy. Amara Chukwuminka reports on Pope Francis' legacy of service.
Elected in a time of turmoil, Pope Francis stormed the world from the moment he appeared a pontiff who refused the ornamented papal apartment, choosing instead a modest guest house. A man who washed the feet of prisoners, embraced the disfigured, and dined with the homeless. But to understand his journey, we must look back.
Pope Francis was one of a kind as a pope. I mean, from day one, on the 19th of March 2013, when he was elected as pope and came out atop St. Peter's Square to greet the people on the balcony, the first thing that he used in endearing himself to the people was his name. He chooses the name Francis. That is the first time any pope is making use of that name, because popes usually change their names when elected, or they pick a new name.
As pope, he became a voice for the voiceless. His historic meeting with Grand Imam Ahmed Al-Tiyab in 2019 pledged Muslim and Christian unity against hatred, a testament to his belief that dialogue is the only path to peace.
All right, officially there will be 9 days of mourning for the Pope beginning from today, 9 days of official mourning. Now, 15 to 20 days after the mourning, we'll have a conclave, that is the election of a new Pope. And this duration of time is given so that all the cardinals all over the world can come back to Rome to partake in this conclave. And so cardinals who are 80 years below are eligible to partake in the conclave.
In recent years, declining health shadowed his mission. A lying lungs confined him to a wheelchair, yet he persevered, declaring that the church must work with people even when it is tired. His last public appearance on Easter Sunday saw him bless a trembling crowd in St. Peter's Square. Pope Francis, born December 17, 1936, passed at 88, an advocate of the outcast, shepherd of the poor. The Pope passed away on Easter Monday, similar to Pope John Paul II, passed away on the Vigil of Divine Mercy Sunday, which fall during the Easter week. May his soul remind us all to build bridges, not walls. May his light continue to shine even beyond. Umeka Rachuku, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu joins Catholic faithful and Christians worldwide in mourning the passing of Pope Francis, whom he describes as a humble servant of God, tireless champion of the poor and guiding light for millions. In a statement, the president says the late pontiff's passing, coming just after the celebration of Christ's resurrection, is a sacred return to his Maker at a time of renewed hope for Christians. President Tinubu wants his memory honored with action by lifting those who are down, healing, communities and defending dignity of every person, extending condolences on behalf of the government and people of Nigeria. Let's also inform you that other world leaders have also been paying tribute to the late Pontiff Pope Francis. Gloria Agbo captures it all for us.
Are being paid to Pope Francis after the confirmation of his death. Ferdinand Marcos, president of the Philippines, paid tribute to Pope Francis as a man who led with wisdom and an open heart, saying that the nation of the Philippines stands with Catholics around the world in remembrance of the great spiritual leader. Russian President Vladimir Putin has also sent his condolences on the death of Pope Francis, the Kremlin said on Monday. President Putin sent the sincere condolences of his country in a message to Cardinal Kelvin Joseph Farrell, observing that throughout the years of his pontificate, he actively promoted the development of dialogue between the Russian Orthodox and Roman Catholic churches, as well as constructive cooperation between Russia and the Holy See. The UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has paid tribute to Pope Francis, saying his death is a reminder of his call to care for one another across different faiths, backgrounds, nations, and beliefs. Also, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni said she was deeply saddened by his death. She wrote, "I had the privilege of enjoying his friendship, his advice, and his teachings, which never failed even in moments of trial and suffering." In a statement from Buckingham Palace, the King hailed Pope Francis for touching the lives of so many. The King and Queen met the Pontiff earlier this month during a visit to Italy. He said in a statement, "My wife and I were deeply saddened to learn of the death of Pope Francis." U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, who briefly met with Pope Francis on Easter Sunday, wrote on X, "I just learned of the passing of Pope Francis. My heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world who loved him." Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared pictures of him embracing Pope Francis on X and said he was deeply pained by his loss and offered his heartfelt condolences to the global Catholic community. In Abuja, Gloria Agbo, NTA News.
And speaking about the legacy of the late Pontiff is one we here in NTA will continue to talk about. And to do us the honors, we have Very Reverend Father Patrick Alumuko. He's a parish priest of St. Louis Catholic Church here in Abuja and also Director, Catholic Television, Nigeria. Thank you very much for joining us, Very Reverend Father.
It's a pleasure.
Happy Easter. We didn't forget that.
Happy Easter to you too.
All right, well, it's that time, you know, for the Catholic community worldwide, going by the passing of Pope Francis. And just yesterday, we saw him, you know, at St. Peter's Square, you know, bidding and saying Happy Easter to thousands of worshippers. What does this say to you personally, before you tell us about how the world takes it?
I think this is one of the realities of life. We were quite happy to see him yesterday out there in St. Peter's Basilica, an area that is very well known to me. I had worked there for about 13 years or thereabouts. And those words he put out were words I used to translate when I worked at Vatican Radio. Cari sorelle fratelli, brothers and sisters, Happy Easter to you, he said. He couldn't speak much, but he got a big round of applause because no one expected him even to be out there. And we had hoped that he would live much longer. We had hoped he would eventually recuperate and get back to his seat. But what a surprise we have now. This morning, a pope who was in a wheelchair for years, we had here in Abuja today the David Osunde Foundation, whose pictures appear on your screen. He has for 33 years now held an annual event for people with disabilities. And that picture is a very strong picture for us because he sat down next to the Pope who was in a wheelchair. Today, here in Abuja, David Osunde Foundation was giving about 100 wheelchairs to other people. It's a sad day for us indeed and for the world a pope who loved people, who loved the poor. In his appointments of bishops who became cardinals, most of them he appointed from very poor cities, towns. Here in Nigeria, he appointed a bishop in Ekulobia who became a cardinal. This is the kind of people he used to love, people who work hard for the poor and the rural people.
Okay, Father, and of course such a humble and selfless being, you will say, talking about the late pontiff. But the coincidence, you know, the late Pope John Paul II, who passed on the vigil of Divine Mercy, you know, leading to Easter, and now we're seeing Pope Francis passed on Easter Monday. What does this say, really?
Well, at a very personal level, I think that this associates these very holy people with Jesus Christ himself, his death, his resurrection at Easter is a very special moment for every believer. So to have called his own sons, his own popes at this particular time, just shows how close they are to him. I think that as they said of Pope John Paul II, when he died in the square, they were singing Santo Subito, meaning let him be canonized a saint immediately. I think many will sing that same song for Pope Francis.
Indeed. So, talking about his legacy, I see he touched a very significant part for the foundation you mentioned here in Nigeria, and I'm sure we've seen rather the lives he touched and the legacy he left behind. I just wanted to speak briefly on that.
Yeah, well, he cared for people who were poor, people who were humble, and he was very close to the bishops of the church in Nigeria, and who, when they met during the ad limina, was very concerned about the situation in Nigeria. He also expressed a lot of solidarity to the suffering peoples of Nigeria, especially the many priests in Nigeria who had been kidnapped while he was Pope, and many of those who had received unjust treatments in the hands of bandits and all that. And he called for unity, understanding between people of this country. So he was very close to our nation indeed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Very Reverend Father Patrick Alumuku, Director, Catholic Television of Nigeria. Thank you. And I hear there's a 9 days mourning following the demise of the Pope.
That's right, before the burial.
All right.
And in 2-3 weeks' time, we should have a new Pope in 20 days, or highest 20 days, we should have a Pope.
By his grace.
Yes, and we have, remember, we have a cardinal here who will participate in the conclave. Cardinal John Onaikan will be right inside there, representing Nigeria in the election of that new Pope.
All right. Thank you very much, Father. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
And just before the death and resurrection, I'm talking about Jesus Christ now. He instructed that his disciples meet him at Galilee. Now, this meeting, the Gospel tells us, holds significant importance in Christian faith, as it marked a pivotal moment in Jesus' ministry and after his resurrection. In this report, Elizabeth Omori looks at the instructions that Jesus left to his disciples before his ascension.
After the resurrection of Jesus, he appeared to different individuals and his disciples, teaching the word of God and performing miracles.
It is he that talketh with me. Lord, I believe.
During this time, one of his assignments was the meeting at Galilee with his disciples, preparatory to their missionary work. The Gospels referenced Galilee, where Jesus grew up, preached and performed many miracles, such as feeding 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish, calming the stormy sea, and walking on water.
Be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid.
And as Christians celebrate his resurrection, what lessons are inherent for spiritual growth?
Meeting him at Galilee today signifies the continuation of his ministry, which he has started. So, his death must not bring to an end his ministry on earth.
If Christ had not resurrected from the dead, our preaching would have been in vain, and even our believing would have been futile.
To stand as an intercessor for us and giving an evidence of our victory, an attestation that he has conquered and won for us.
The book of Matthew recounts that Jesus gave the Great Commission at Galilee before his ascension.
Go therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
All right, when Jesus instructed his disciples to go to a mountain in Galilee where he would meet them, of course, appearing to them and showing his divinity with many infallible proofs. We had a clergyman earlier, Reverend Father Obum Inandi, in our studio to speak on the significance of the meeting at Galilee. Let's see that.
Galilee is so special that it fulfilled the messianic prophecy as we see in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 1 and 2. Those who were in darkness have seen the light. Jesus Christ, as the light of the world, started shining in Galilee. Now he has resurrected, going for ascension. Remember that he stayed for 40 days before ascension. Within these 40 days, he was showing himself to many people, and he was commissioning his disciples. And again, he committed into the hand of disciples a mission mandate of the kingdom. Go into the whole world and make disciples of all nations.
And the significance there, you know, it's expected to lead Christians to manifest what God wants them to become. And let's join Lagos now as we, connect to Awal Jimbo. He's standing by for the next set of reports. Hello, Awal.
Ruth, we begin with education, where 1,973,253 candidates from 23,554 schools will be writing the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination in Nigeria. WIAC Head of National Office Amos Dangut disclosed this while briefing newsmen on preparations made to conduct the 2025 Senior School Certificate Examination. Bolaji Akim completes the report.
Speaking on the preparedness of the examination body to conduct 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination for school candidates in Nigeria, WIAC Head of National Office revealed that every necessary step has been taken towards each pre-examination, which will run for 8 weeks and 1 day, beginning from Thursday, April 24, through Friday, June 2025.
The Council has introduced its maiden computer-based West African Senior School Certificate Examination, named CB-WAS for School Candidates 2025. From this year, 2 candidates will not have same questions on each number.
While emphasizing the Council's zero tolerance for examination malpractices, either from the students, officials or centers, Dr. Dangut explained that the Council will not conduct the examination in centers sanctioned by sister examination bodies.
574 schools all over Nigeria that have their recognition withdrawn, and that is also going to be the same for all examining bodies. About 26,000 practicing senior secondary school teachers nominated by various ministries of education will be participating in the examination as supervisors.
WIAC Head of National Office informed newsmen that the Council is working with relevant security agencies to ensure adequate security of lives and property during the examination period, especially in areas with security challenges. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
And to infrastructure, for many years, resilient road network boosting trade and commerce have made many nations powerhouses of socio-economic prowess. Achieving this required deliberate efforts then, and thus hasn't changed. The only difference is the advent of technology, which has made road construction more efficient, precise, and eco-friendly. As Nigeria continues to construct new roads along its economic potentials, Lanre Belei checks whether the nation is ticking all the boxes to build a road network that can stand the test of time.
A lot of factors come to play in designing and constructing standard roads, especially now that technology plays a vital role. This has increased efficiency and safety in addition to precise and accurate designs which are displayed in three-dimensional modeling using drones and unmanned aerial systems in site surveying. This technological system is being coupled with the traditional factors such as climate-resilient designs, construction techniques, proactive maintenance and repairs, and community engagement in planning and designing of the roads.
Because of the nature of flooding we're having that we've never had before. So our road has to consider the hydraulic structures of much flood has to be carried out. The hydraulic analysis should be thoroughly done on all our roads before any construction.
The present administration, in its bids to provide road networks across the nation, is ticking all the boxes to achieve resilient road network, which include informed risk infrastructure investment, climate change projections, community engagement, regular maintenance of existing roads, and use of sustainable materials.
The use of concrete is guaranteed that for 50 years to 100 years, it will just need minimal maintenance. Like if there is any leakage of sand, you have to attend to it very quickly. But for pavement deterioration, no, it's not going to happen because it's on concrete. And we are passing through the coast where water is very friendly with concrete.
Since the durability of road network contributes to the socio-economic development of any country, the Minister of Works said all road designs and construction under this administration must be able to withstand environmental, industrial, and population impacts. And this requires taking intentional action early, which the ministry is prioritizing. In Lagos, Lanre Belei, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. Nationwide will continue with Jenny Bassi in Port Harcourt after this break. Don't go away.
Good evening and welcome to Port Harcourt. River State Sole Administrator Vice Admiral Iboite Baz has promised strategic measures to revive the state's Shanghai integrated farms to boost food production and sustainable employment for youths. He was on an inspection of the farms at Bonotai, Thai local government area of River State. Osinachi Samuel reports.
The visit to the state-owned Songhai integrated farms by the River State Administrator, Vice Admiral Iboite Baz, also includes a stopover at the other key agricultural facilities such as the Tech Farms Slaughterhouse in Mboshimiri and the River State Veterinary Hospital and Diagnostic Laboratory in Romodomaya. Vice Admiral Baz emphasized the importance of assessing the projects to determine necessary interventions.
If we have to be self-sufficient in food production, and if we had to have adequate or enhanced food security, then we had to also support the local farmers and promote local food production.
The administrator highlighted the need for sustainable agricultural development in River State to ensure food security. He stressed that supporting local farmers and enhancing productivity are crucial steps towards making agriculture more appealing to the youths.
All these projects that we visited when running will of course provide for employment opportunities for the youth we have and for Nigerians as a whole.
The administrator also inspected the ongoing reconstruction of internal roads and reaffirmed his commitment to ensuring timely completion. From Obiakpo local government area of River State, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
As the Easter holiday celebration continues, experts are warning on the dangers of indiscriminate use of power-generating sets, particularly in enclosed places. The advice follows reported cases of carbon monoxide poisoning from inhaled smoke. Robinson Darataide reports.
Due to poor supply of electricity in Nigeria, most houses and offices depend on generators for power. While Nigerians manage to cope with noise pollution, most dangerous is the toxic from the generator fumes to human health. Reports of people losing consciousness and dying from inhaling generator fumes, mostly when they are asleep, is a regular occurrence at a public concern.
We have been living for almost before they know about either a husband and wife have dead this house for 2-3 days, nobody knows.
Experts say carbon monoxide is a major gas in generator fumes and can replace oxygen in the body tissues to prevent blood from flowing if inhaled.
Carbon monoxide is a known poison that is very difficult to reverse. It is being inhaled gradually in a manner that you will not know what is happening and sleep continues. So that is why many of them die during sleeping.
Effects, one, leads to cancer, to so many other diseases, and in fact, where it is excess is death.
They advise people to avoid placing generator exhaust pipes near windows and doors or in closed places like corridors or rooms.
If you know that wherever you're going to put your gen, there is no enough ventilation, avoid it.
People are also advised to fix generators when they notice excess discharge of fumes. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Darateide, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Port Harcourt. Ruth is back to you in Abuja. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, Jenny. Good to see you. In emulation of Jesus Christ, Christians must always show love to their neighbors and avoid every inclination to judge others based on religion or region. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, said this while hosting the youth wing of Christian Association of Nigeria to Easter brunch at the Villa. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
This is the second Easter homage by the youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Jowican, to Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu. Unlike the first, it afforded members of the association the opportunity to share Easter felicitations as well as dine and wine with their grand patron. Addressing her guest, the First Lady says she is encouraged by their visit and show of love, noting that it takes sacrificial love and compassion to change the world.
When we look at the Christian faith, we can only be a Christian if we love the way Christ has told us. To love God first, with all our might. I didn't bring you here because of politics. Yeah. I brought you here because of the love you showed. And you can see for a whole year, your card was in my office. For a whole year.
She called on youth to be at the forefront of promoting gender equity, pointing out that there is room for women who are willing to thrive in the country.
You make sure that when you are dealing with men, God has given us wisdom. You deal with them with wisdom, and then you can always have your way.
While expressing the appreciation of Jowican to the First Lady for her interventions, its national chairman, Belusom Chukwu Ewerem, said Jowican is ready to run with her vision for peace and development by sustaining engagement with their Muslim counterparts to foster religious harmony in the country.
We will also appreciate your motherly assistance for some slots to be extended to the Christian youth to be part of the forthcoming National Youth Conference being convened by Mr. President so that we can contribute our own quota to the betterment of the present and future youth of our dear country.
To further demonstrate the support of the association to our Renewed Hope initiative, the Jowican National Chairman announced the launch of the Renewed Hope Neighbor to Neighbor movement and decorated the First Lady as the grand patron.
We are to help drive the achievements of this administration from one neighbor to another.
For members of Jowican, Their labor of love produced a bumper harvest as the First Lady announced the donation of 7 14-seater CNG-powered buses to aid its operations and evangelical works across the country. From the banquet hall of the presidential villa, Adini Itaiwo, NTA News.
Easter is the bedrock of Christianity, a time that symbolizes hope, sacrifice, and resurrection. On NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, guests emphasize that Nigerians, especially Christians, must internalize the true meaning of Easter by embracing peace, living impactful lives, and rejecting all forms of materialism. Thomas Ogbetiri reports.
Easter Monday is the day after Easter Sunday, celebrated by many Christians around the world. It marks the continuation of the joy of Christ's resurrection from the dead. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria called for renewed commitment to the teachings of the risen Christ, urging citizens to promote patriotism and unity as vital tools for national development.
Earlier there was a question of why is it that people now don't behave so well even though they go to church. I'd like us to make a distinction between nominal believers and actual believers who have conviction.
In essence, he did not come to seek revenge for what happened to him on Good Friday. He simply came to preach a message of peace.
So for us, we won't give up. We won't give up on our nation. We won't give up on man. And I won't give up preaching what I believe is right and trusting that by the grace of God, people will change.
According to the discussants, the spirit of Easter should inspire not only personal reflection, but also a renewed sense of responsibility among those in position of authority in Abuja. Thomas Ogbeteri, NTA News.
Earlier we told you Easter Monday is significant in Christendom because it is a time when Jesus met with his disciples at Galilee after resurrection. Well, although Christians now not everybody get the opportunity to travel to Galilee, but many just commemorate the day with church services and visit to choice places to just depict the event. Residents of Ibadan gathered to mark Easter Monday with the rich cultural and religious intonation. Let's hear from Yemisi Ajagun.
For many Christians, Easter Monday is a continuation of the Easter story, the resurrection of Jesus Christ and the promise of new life. Whether in prayer or celebration, Nigerians embrace the spirit of Easter Monday, visiting parks and gardens for picnic and Galilee with joy and gratitude.
We should all learn, one, to forgive each other when we offend ourselves. Then two, we should always remember that Jesus stands for love.
Easter is just like a typical example of true love. True love endures it all.
It's just like sharing love with your neighbors and your friends and family in order to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. As the holiday winds down, the message remains the same of hope, renewal, and the strength of unity in community. In Ibadan, Yemisi Ajagun, NTA News.
Peaceful coexistence is at the core of the season. In that light, Plateau State Church Denominational Leaders Forum and the State Christian Association of Nigeria, held a peaceful protest walk on the renewed killings in Plateau State. The protesters held prayers for the repose of the souls of the departed and divine intervention for the restoration of peace in the state. The protesters thereafter proceeded to the Government House, Rayfield Jos, to meet with Governor Caleb Mutfwang. All right, let's head to Sokoto. Let's join us, Mao. Let's find out what's happening from her end.
Ruth, good evening and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. In the spirit of the Easter season, Christians community in Sokoto State have prayed for leaders at all levels with a call on the government to end all forms of insecurity for peace and progress of the country. Abdullahi Umar Ilalu has more on the report.
Faithful in Sokoto joined the global observance of Easter with solemn prayers and reflections, commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ, a cornerstone of the Christian faith, symbolizing hope, renewal, and divine grace. Clergymen who led the services emphasized the spiritual significance of the occasion, urging believers to embody the teachings of Christ by embracing humility, compassion, and selfless service to humanity.
The challenge for us in Nigeria and for us as Christians is to see whether we can take our religion back from the clutches of politicians and those who want to use religion as a weapon. Our people are living in fear. As we are praying for peace, I equally call on the government to provide adequate security.
The clergymen also offered prayers for Nigeria's leaders, seeking divine wisdom and guidance in steering the country toward unity, progress, and lasting peace. The Easter service brought together worshippers from various denominations across Sokoto State, united in faith and a shared hope for a more secure and prosperous nation. From Sokoto, Abdullah Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
Nearly 2 years in office, the All Progressives Congress APC in Sokoto State has expressed satisfaction with the performance of Governor Ahmad Aliu's Sokoto-led administration for its array of policies, programs, and projects towards uplifting quality of life of the electorates. Sokoto State APC Chairman Isa Sadiq Achida gave pass mark while highlighting the administration's progress in education, infrastructural development, and other key sectors. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa completes the report.
The 2023 general elections in Nigeria produces Ahmed Aliu Sokoto of the All Progressives Congress APC as the elected governor of Sokoto State, and his subsequent swearing-in set the stage for the party to deliver its campaign promises to the people. APC chairman Sokoto State Isa Sadiq Achida notes that the governor's performance exceeds their expectations, attributing the success to the mentorship of former governor of Sokoto State, Senator Aliu Maga Takardawamako. Some of the achievements recorded include construction of over 48 roads network, remodeling of a number of roundabouts, construction of a 12-kilometer Sokoto southern bypass to beautify the state capital city and facilitate smooth traffic flow. He pointed out that government has also embarked on the construction of several rural access roads across the 23 local government areas of the state to open up more communities and boost their economic activities. To bridge housing deficit, 1,136 housing units are being constructed at Gidan Salanke and Wajeki to provide decent shelter to the people.
Over 140 patrol vehicles, brand new ones, have been procured and distributed to security agencies to boost their mobility and response capabilities. The government has set off the Community Guard Corps, equipped them with essential operational tools and logistics to strengthen local security networks.
The APC chairman maintains that the present administration in the state has made significant progress towards completion of the abundant Sokoto State Independent Power Project to turn around the economic fortunes of the state. Isa Achida urged critics to acknowledge achievements recorded in less than 2 years, stressing that even a casual visitor to Sokoto can attest to the fact that the electorates have made wise choice in electing the APC and the helm of affairs of the state. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
And that is our package from Sokoto. Is back to Ruth in Abuja for the continuation of the news. Happy Easter, Ruth.
Thank you so much, Asmau. Happy Easter. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back.
Come to Maiduguri. Academic College of Islamic Theology Maiduguri has offered a scholarship to Hawa Mohammed, the girl who was brutally beaten for plucking mangoes, as part of its effort to support girl child education. The college's new director, Zuberu Wazagu, announced the sponsorship during a visit to Hawa father's house. Fatima Isa has details.
In the wake of disturbing viral video showing 12-year-old Hawa Muhammad being brutally beaten by 33-year-old Mama Shatima in Maiduguri for plugging mangoes, a wave of public outrage followed, drawing the attention of government groups and concerned individuals who relied to support the young girl and her family. Among those who stepped in is Al-Kanemi College of Islamic Theology, Maiduguri, offering scholarship to cover Hawa's education from primary to secondary level, including full responsibility for her uniform and books. The director also provided food items to Hawa's family and condemned the brutal treatment she received, describing it as barbaric and un-Islamic.
We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect, guide, and elevate His Excellency, the Governor of Borno State. We in the Academic College of Islamic Theology, we completely disagree with what has been inflicted on this girl.
Wasagu praised Governor Babagana Umar Zulum for ensuring the culprit faced the law and reaffirmed the college's loyalty to the governor's administration. Hawa's father, Muhammad Goni, and her mother expressed gratitude to the college and everyone who supported their family during this challenging time, assuring them that they will not relent in ensuring their daughter's continues her education. In Maiduguri, Fatima Isa, NTA News.
Christian faithful have been urged to emulate the life of Jesus Christ by shunning all forms of evil and violence and embracing tolerance, just as God demonstrated by giving His only begotten Son. By doing so, believers reflect the love of God to humanity. This was the central message delivered during the Unity Service held in Maiduguri and Nigeria Local Government Council of Borno State to commemorate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Ijapari Joseph reports.
The Lord is risen indeed. He has appeared to Simon.
The assurance of the Christian faith lies in the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which signifies the fulfillment of God's prophecy. Without the resurrection, there will be no Christianity, making Easter a celebration of triumph for Christians worldwide. Reverend Yakubu Yada, quoting from 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 12 to 14, emphasized the significance of Easter as the foundation upon which the Christian faith is built.
We honor Him and exalt Him because this hour is the hour of victory to the whole Christendom in the world.
Other clerics highlighted steps believers must take to embody the hope, renewal, and transformation brought by the resurrection of Christ.
So as Christians, we are expected to take this hope and the light of the resurrection into every aspect of our life.
All Christ followers to imitate Jesus Christ, to live like Jesus.
It is very important to us as Christians and as believers to remember today, because today is very significant in the life of every believer.
The service featured soul-lifting song ministration by various gospel groups. Prayers were also offered for unity, peace, economic stability, and leadership of Borno and the nation. In Maiduguri, Japari Joseph, NTA News.
That does it from Maiduguri. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja. Ruth, happy Easter.
Happy Easter, Ladidi. Good to see you. We turn to legislative matters. The National Assembly has extended the date for the resumption of plenary sessions from Tuesday 29th April 2025 to Tuesday 6th May 2025. A statement from the clerk to the National Assembly, Kamoru Ogunlana, explains that the extension is to allow distinguished senators and honorable members to participate in the Workers' Day ceremony. The extension would also enable members of the Senate and House of Representatives attend to other engagements in their constituencies. Sports update is next.
Sports enthusiasts are celebrating Nigeria chess master Tunde Onokoya, who recently received the Guinness World Record for the longest chess marathon
after completing a 64-hour session in Times Square, New York City. Onokoya received his milestone alongside U.S. chess player Sean Martinez during the marathon held from April 17 to 20, 2025. He had previously played for 60 hours in April 2024, breaking a record that was later reclaimed by Norwegian player Odin Blinker and Askild Brine, who logged 61 hours, 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Onokoya also leads Chess in Slums Africa, a program dedicated to providing education opportunities through chess for marginalized children.
I hope that it continues to raise the bar, especially when it comes to giving opportunity, creating opportunity for so many young people with what he did in Ibadan.
Meanwhile, in preparation for the UFAC African Karate Championship scheduled for July in Nigeria this year, 36 male and female athletes have engaged in rigorous training at the velodrome of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. The junior national karate team, made up of athletes aged 18 to 20, is currently in training camp as part of the selection process overseen by the Karate Federation.
I have to also train harder the few months we have left so I can bring out my best and be more prepared for the competition.
We are working on getting corporate Nigerians to be part of it, and with that on ground, we need to bring our attention to the athletes, because all preparation that are on ground is not just for Nigeria to have a beautiful show, but it's for us to compete and win on a very clean slate.
All the championships we have had, those that have won first, second position, I've been able to brought them now to come and test them out, look at their physical fitness.
Elsewhere, Nigeria is set to play a friendly match against the host nation Egypt on Tuesday as part of their preparation for the 2025 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations. The match will take place at the Cairo International Stadium. The Eagles arrived in Cairo on Sunday ahead of the tournament. They are also expected to have another friendly match before the tournament commences. In Abuja, Francis Kabile, NTA Sports.
And we're done with Nationwide. Thank you for your time with us. I'm Ruth Agu. Good evening.